Hey guys, Chris with Fort Park Property Management here. I want to talk to you about a really juicy topic today, one that causes a ton of conflict in stratas all the time. So this is a good one. It's parking. And why is parking such a juicy concept? Well, you got to remember that parking isn't necessarily yours to use exclusively. So a lot of people, when they buy into a strata or a condo, they think, I was given that parking stall, or maybe I was given those 2 parking stalls, and those are mine to use forever, and I can, when I sell my unit, those 2 stalls are going to go with it, and life is great, everything's good. But the reason it becomes a huge thing of conflict is unless it's limited common property, which in new stratas, very often it is limited common property, but in older stratas, maybe anything built prior to 2000, that it's common property and it is only yours for short-term use. So the Strata Act actually says that you can only keep it for your exclusive use for a year, and every year after that it has to be renewed. Now in practice, usually what happens, say you buy into a strata and you get parking stalls 13 and 14, those are given to you. And usually it just goes without saying that gets renewed every year and that is yours to use, but not necessarily. Where this sometimes happens is if there's not enough parking to go around, say it's a building of 50 units and maybe there's 70 stalls, right? So not everyone has a stall for themselves, or everyone has 1 stall, but not everyone has a second stall for themselves. Those 20 extra stalls can be reallocated based on need or based on what the council deems to be most appropriate use for those 20 extra stalls. So using that example again, you bought into the building, you had stalls 13 and 14 given to you. You're only using 1 of them at the time. Maybe you only have 1 car right now. Council can take that away from you and reallocate that to somebody else. Maybe there's another family that has 2 cars, or another family that's got their son living with them for a while. So it can be reallocated. It's not yours if it's common property. And the misconception out there is that that's mine and I can use it forever and I'll sell it with the unit. Well, it isn't. So make sure that when you are buying into a strata, you know this. Your agent tells you exactly what the designation of that parking stall is. Is it limited common property, which would be yours for exclusive use forever? Or is it common property, which is only for a period of a year? It'll be noted on the Form B, but a lot of people don't even check that very carefully. And sometimes the Form B is wrong. You have to check it against the strata plan, what's officially registered at land titles. The reason I bring this up is because we see this problem all the time, and people go absolutely crazy when they find out that their parking stall can be taken away from them. Maybe they paid, an extra $50,000 for that particular strata lot because they thought it came with 2 parking stalls. They're not making more parking. Generally, it's a scarce commodity. I can use a little story here, and we're going to have to change the names a little bit. But we do manage a strata where this has been a huge issue over the years. There's not enough to go around. Certain people maybe have more stalls than they should based on what they need. So the Strata Council, looked at it, tried to be fair and tried to reallocate parking stalls based on need. So maybe this is a young family. They have some kids now that are grown up. They're teenagers. They're going to be driving and they need more parking spots. And maybe this other family over here only needs 1, or they're only using 1 of them. So they were taking away stalls from other people, reallocating them to certain others, and it turned into chaos. We're talking literally fistfights breaking out at the AGM. People had to be held back. People were calling each other names, bad names, words I can't even use here. I'd probably get banned from YouTube. They were really, really having a hard time with this, and every meeting was sort of dragged down into this. There was fights at every meeting. Council members quit over this. People moved out of the building over this. And it got to the point where it was so bad, they didn't really know what to do. So eventually we advised them to hire a lawyer to draft a resolution. And what they did is they suggested to the ownership group, they had to get a 3/4 vote on this, to change the common property from common property to limited common property. So once it's limited common property, everyone has their own stalls, their own designation. It's going to be that forever. But until that happens, or until it happened, nothing was really resolved and the conflict continued. So That's what you have to do. Get it changed, get it made limited common property, and hopefully that'll solve your issue. Below, you'll see our contact information at fortpark.ca and go to the contact page, or you can call us 604-447-7275, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about parking, Strata in general, and anything related to that topic. Stories to share about your own Strata, something like this might have happened, please comment below. We'd love to hear about them.